Now we're going to move on to a new CD by the Faut2 Duo, and we'll be hearing from one of the members of the Faut2 Duo here soon. And this CD is called Treasures from Home, and we're going to listen to the 8th track on the CD by Grigoris Deniku, and it's called Skylark. Hey, that was a lot of fun there. That was Skylark by Grigoris Deniku from a new CD called Treasures from Home featuring the Faut2 Duo. I'm Matt Jackfert here with one of the members of the Faut2 Duo, Cristian Fatu, a violinist with the West Virginia Symphony Orchestra and Montclair String Quartet. He and his wife Victoria have just released this new CD called Treasures from Home, featuring the works of 12 different composers and has 13 tracks. Cristian, welcome to the show.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be back and to talk to you about this latest project of ours.
Yeah, it's always great to have you in the studio, whether it's in the form of the Fatu Duo or in the form of maybe the Montclair String Quartet. Always great to have you here, Cristian. So Treasures from Home is the title of the CD. And with you, Cristian, home has been several different places. So what is home to you exactly?
That's right. Well, I'm Romanian, and I came to this country 12 years ago for graduate studies. My wife is Armenian, and she came from Russia 10 years ago, also for studies. And we met in college, in school. And so in our family, there are three different passports. There is a Romanian passport, there is a Russian passport, and U.S. passports for our kids. So when we travel, it's always a bit of a nightmare because someone needs a visa invariably. Anyway, we come from many places, but eventually, home is where we are, with our family, where we reside. And for the past 4 years, Charleston, West Virginia has been our home. And on the CD, there are pieces from all the places that are connected to us. So we have music from Romania, famous Romanian pieces by Grigoraș Dinicu and Isidor Burdin. Then we have music from Hungary, a wonderful klezmer piece by Bela Kovac, which we arranged for violin because it was written for clarinet. And the funny story, I've heard our good friend and colleague Bob Teriziani playing this with the orchestra about 2 years ago, and I loved the piece. So I took a picture of his part and I arranged it for violin, and then my wife Victoria came up with the piano part because it was in different keys. So it's a different instrument, so it had to all work out. So we put it on the CD because it's just such a great piece of music. And then we have music, of course, from Italy, from Ukraine, from Germany, all the way to West Virginia, where we have a wonderful piece written by you, Matt Jackfert. It's called Hootenanny, right? So I think you can talk about that piece whenever we will play it shortly.
Sure.
So this CD has been a labor of love because we wanted to play something that is meaningful to us, something that speaks from our heart to the hearts of our listeners. And I worked a lot I tinkered with the idea of what program, what would be suitable and what would work out for this CD. And I think we came up with a pretty nice lineup of works, of pieces. The CD can be found on iTunes, on Amazon, pretty much anywhere. And also it can be heard for free on YouTube if you don't want to buy it.
Yeah, right. Well, there's also a physical copy of it too, which is really nice. I'm holding it right here.
Thank you.
Very nice cover featuring Cristian and his wife Victoria, the Faut2 Duo here. And this is actually the second of your all CDs, correct?
It's actually the third. Yeah. It was about 10 years ago that we recorded our second CD when we were living in Kansas City, and we just got married. So that one appropriately is called New Beginnings. And
and I've played that on the air here.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so that one, it's more classical, it has Debussy and Tchaikovsky and all the classical choices. With this one, we wanted to go a different route, a bit more niche, just because I think there are so many CDs that play Bach and Ravel and Tchaikovsky and all the usual suspects. So we wanted to have something new, something fresh.
Right, yeah. So you have all sorts of different things, different cultures, countries, all sorts of things coming together on this CD, including one piece by Bela Kovac. And do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I think I just briefly mentioned this is a piece originally written for clarinet. It's a klezmer piece. Bela Kovac is a renowned Hungarian clarinet player and also a composer. And I arranged this piece together with Victoria. And please go ahead and play it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the name of this track, Cristian?
This one is called Sholem Alechem Rov Friedman. I don't speak Yiddish, so for our listeners that do, please forgive my pronunciation.
Yeah, no, you noticed how I let you pronounce the track name and put you on the spot there. So here we go. This is a piece by Bela Kovac. music from a new CD called Treasures from Home by the Faut2 Duo, and I'm joined by Cristian Fatu, the violinist of the Faut2 Duo. And that was a piece by Bela Kovacs. And Cristian, go ahead and tell us the track name.
Yes, Sholem Aleichem Rov Friedman, a klezmer piece by Bela Kovac.
Kovac, okay, there you go. Getting my he's a Romanian composer, is that what you said?
No, Hungarian.
Hungarian, okay, excuse me. I'm trying to get my Hungarian pronunciation correct. Right, that's a very tasteful, fun piece there. A lot of great active pieces in this CD. So what was the recording process like? How did you all get all these tracks recorded, and where did you do it?
Right. Well, we wanted to be as truthful as possible to a live performance. So the recording happened at the West Virginia State University in the Davis Fine Arts Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a good piano there. So also there's a good acoustics in that hall. So we have a very good friend. His name is Aaron Fisher from Fishbowl Records. And he worked with Victoria in the past for some of her singing. Victoria is also a jazz singer.
Yeah.
If you didn't know. And she
very good one too.
Thank you. She's recorded quite a number of covers of jazz songs. Even she has even some original songs. And so Aaron was the person who we called, and we worked very nicely. He brought his equipment in, and the recording happened in early June. We recorded for about 4 days, and then we worked on making the CD coming to life.
Right.
Also, I need to mention that this CD was funded through a Kickstarter campaign, which was successful. So we're very grateful, and we thank on this channel as well to all the donors and backers that helped us bring this to life, make it happen.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's great to have crowd-funded ways of source to get funded. And so I assume you had some rewards available for those people?
Yes, of course. And in a way, that was another test to see if this project has any value. Because when you ask people for $3,000, obviously they need to see some value in it to be able to pledge even $10.
Mm-hmm.
And we had people that pledged $500 or $350, and there are some people that we've never met with, and probably will never meet, but they just saw value in our project, in our music. And of course, now that the CD is ready, we send them CDs, and they have our eternal gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we would love to meet them someday and play for them in person.
Well, yeah, the product is definitely there. I mean, you can hear it. The recording is great. The playing is great too. And the selections are a lot of fun as well. And so will we be able to hear these selections live at any time?
Yes. Victoria will be coming to town in November, and we will be scheduling a recital, a CD launch recital, where we will play all the selection from the CD right here in Charleston. So the date and the location is to be determined, and we'll make sure to let you know, and maybe you can let know the listeners when this event will happen.
Yeah, of course. And you're shooting for the middle of November.
Yes.
Right. So we'll be on the lookout for that, and we'll definitely be sure to update our listeners when we find a date and a time and place for that. And so, so we have the CD launch recital. Should we jump into the Hootenanny track?
Yes. Yeah, so that's your piece. It was a world premiere for us to record it. So you can say a couple of words about the piece better than me.
Absolutely. This is a piece I actually wrote 2015. And this was part of a 3-movement sonata for euphonium and piano. Euphonium is my instrument. So I decided to take on a piece for euphonium because I know it so well. And I decided to incorporate the sounds of West Virginia into this piece. And the total piece is called Appalachian Impressions.
Right. So here's where we come to West Virginia.
Right.
With all the places that we come from that are related to us.
Right. This is the new version of home for you, which is here in West Virginia. So this piece takes on bluegrass music. And you'll hear it in the piano, the sort of plodding bass of the bluegrass, but it also like goes through all sorts of different keys and time signatures and things like that. So I take something that's what you normally would hear in bluegrass and twist it around a little in this sort of classical style. And you'll hear Cristian going up and down the instrument and playing all sorts of fast, fun riffs. So, all right, well... do you have any words, Cristian, or should we just fire away?
Yeah, it's classical music with a kick. Let's hear it.
Here we go, Hootenanny. This is my piece I wrote in 2015 and arranged later for violin and piano, and this is the Faut2 Duo performing. Piece called Hootenanny that I wrote in 2015, part of a larger work called Appalachian Impressions, originally for euphonium and piano, but arranged for violin and piano there, performed by the Fatu Duo in a CD called Treasures from Home. And Cristian, that's the first time I've heard it off of the CD, and I will have to say that was a marvelous performance by both you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Interesting recording there and well performed, very dynamic, and very crisp too on the violin, moving all sorts of different passages and notes there, pizzicato and things like that.
Yeah, it's quite a challenging piece, but I really try to get the spirit of the music, the happiness of living, of of the mountains and all the thoughts you put in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, it's supposed to be a, uplifting, sort of happy kind of piece there. Again, that was Hootenanny, piece I wrote in 2015. So this CD, it's got 12 different composers, 13 tracks. And you can get it, again, on Amazon and iTunes, get it at all sorts of different places. And there's a physical copy, too.
Yes.
And so be sure and check that out. And we're going to listen to one more track here in a second. But before that, do you want to talk about some of your upcoming recitals you have, including with the Montclair String Quartet?
Right, yeah. So as people might know, I also play in the Montclair String Quartet, and we have 2 upcoming recitals. First one will be at University of Charleston, Irma Bird Gallery on September 16th at 3 p.m. And this will happen through the West Virginia Symphony Orchestra. They have a chamber music series, and we play 4 recitals a year for this series. And the second recital will be at West Virginia State University at the Erickson Alumni Center on September 20th at 7 p.m. I'm also involved with another orchestra here in town. It's called Charleston Chamber Orchestra, which is in residence at West Virginia State University. And our conductor is Dr. Scott Woodard. And we will have some important projects coming up. And one of them will be in February, when we will go to the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., to play a concert, and I believe you are writing an original piece for us for that performance.
I'm going to be jumping into a piece here for violin and orchestra, just recently commissioned, so I'll be working on that. I'm going to try and do something that's involved, again, with West Virginia and bring it into the classical music realm with that. So I'm very excited, and especially very excited to have you perform it. I think you're going to do a great job. So,
well, thank you. If it's going to be anything like the Hootenanny, we'll have a kick.
Yeah, I think so too. So we should finish quickly because we only have a little bit of time. This last track that we want to play is actually the first track. And do you want to just...
That's right. Yeah, it's an obscure composer, and it's a German composer by the name of Joe Gneumann. And I think probably this will be the second recording of it that I could find online. And I just fell in love with the piece. The piece is called Romanisch, which means Romanian. So I had to look long and hard to find the part, which I found at an editor in Germany, which sent it all the way from Berlin. And so I thought it would be a perfect fit for our CD, because it's it's almost it's not known, and it's such a great piece of music. And the translation would be Romanian.
Great. Well, let's hear Romanisch, and this is performed by the Faut2 Duo. Go grab their CD, Treasures from Home, on iTunes or Amazon, or you can find it on YouTube. Here we go, Faut2 Duo performing. piece called Romanish by Newman from a CD called Faut2 Duo, by Fatu Duo called Treasures from Home. And of course, we got to hear from Cristian Fatu, the violinist.